everyone, and welcome back to All the Things Sword of Truth, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a gold-rimmed bowl full of craft brew on the side.
Fancy beer.
Yeah. I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate. And today we are just passing through chapter 33 of Stone of Tears.
Yes, we are. And, literally just passing through, because it's a short-ass chapter.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the perfect way to phrase that.
But luckily for you listeners, we usually consistently go longer than the chapters, so
Yeah.
If you guys were thinking this was going to be a way to fast-track it through this series, sorry.
Nope.
You're mistaken. But let's get into it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose we have stalled as much as we possibly can.
So the chapter opens up with Adie telling Zedd to cut her arm off, and he refuses. Because he's not super into, the hacky bit right away. Apparently getting her foot back made her miss being down a limb, so she's, super eager to chop another one off.
So she wants to even it out by hacking another body part off.
That's what it seemed to me.
I understand Zedd's reluctance. He doesn't want to do it, but at the same time, how can Adie expect him to just be totally cool?
So cavalier about it,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're gonna cut your arm. Yeah, obviously,
just cut
that's
it
what we're
off.
doing.
Well, it's just that's the worst case scenario. She knows that, and she's jumping right to the worst case scenario with the worst possible solution. And Zedd is just trying to pump the brakes a little bit and be like, no, I mean, there's got to be another way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing they've been there for a minute with him trying to heal her, so it's maybe been. Maybe it's not the first option, okay? Maybe she's been there for a couple days or a week, and she's like, dude, we're wasting time. Chop the shit. But she's also let me hack it off with a knife, so I don't think she's actually thinking very clearly, because that's not.
Well, that movie where the guy gets stuck rock climbing and he has to cut it off. That's in an emergency situation where it has to be solved right now because nobody is coming. Adie's not in that situation.
It made me think of Saw. I think it's the very first one where he's stuck in the room and he has to cut his foot off. Just like Adie in the first one. But sawing motion. This is different than the axe thing she did the first time. She's thinking in her head, all right, yeah, chop it off. Bitch, that's not the same thing.
Well, she doesn't have a saw.
Or an axe. She has a knife.
Okay, I guess we could all assume that they could. Yeah, she has a knife. I'm assuming that they could use magic on it to change the shape, maybe turn it more into a saw, something that would be more effective.
I feel like he could use magic in some way to hack it off if he really wanted to, but he's not going to help her.
The concentration of the air.
Yeah.
To make it a sharp thing, what happened to Marge.
Yeah.
Right? She gets blown apart by it, but he could do something like that. You would just want it to be as fast as possible.
Yeah. And then cauterize that shit.
Yeah. Oof. That Boondock Saints scene.
Ugh.
That one's hard to watch. Zedd and Adie are staying at the Ram's Horn Inn, and they're in really nice rooms too, because much like what we assume they could do with the knife into the saw, they can make money. Not make money, they can make money.
Zedd can, at least. We don't know about Adie.
Yeah, but so, a lot of the rooms are taken, and they have to buy the best rooms that this place has to offer because they're expensive. Nobody else is going to pay that. But since money doesn't really matter to Zedd, they can get the nice shit.
And I'm sure he's just so upset that they had to get the nicest room.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, this is just awful. What size is the bed? Oh, good.
You're serving me stew in a gold-rimmed bowl, and I get to just eat as much as I want? Yeah, okay.
Right. That's perfect for Zedd.
Yeah.
Got a pretty lady. They're going to feed me okay. Got a comfy-ass bed. I'm getting some sleep. Or maybe not. Again, like we said, pretty lady, so...
I don't know that Adie is in condition to be thinking about that right now.
Probably not.
Her wound from the scrin isn't healing. It's the wound that doesn't heal.
That's not the same thing.
That's what it was called in the book.
You said that to me earlier, and I was like, I know, because I had the same thought. The wound that doesn't heal. I mean, that's... Oh,
it's bad.
One of those things is good. This is not that.
Well, that's also why I don't think you should call it that, because it's not.
No. That's why I
not
don't
that
like
you
it.
do, yeah. God.
It would seem that Horny Terry wanted to subtly poke his head out and just because this isn't the only thing they use. They use the word gash later, and that's another word for the same thing.
I mean, they're not polite or nice terms.
No, not at all. I'm not saying that people should use them. I'm just saying that he threw them out there, and whether he wanted that to be the thing that people put with those words or not, that's what happened.
At least when you're, sitting with us while you're listening. That's what's going to end up happening.
Welcome to book club.
So Zedd has tried to heal this wound with magic, but it didn't work. He also says it's too late to simply cut it off. There's magic in there that's effectively keeping it open. Jesus.
Sorry.
Eventually, it's going to kill her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I shouldn't have
where's
laughed.
your jokes? Huh? Dick.
Yeah, it is very serious. But again, Zedd doesn't think that just cutting it off is the answer. It's already, it's not just the wound. It's the magic in the wound. It's in you.
Yeah, it's like venom from a snake bite. Like some of the...
Like a snake vine?
Yes, but I feel like there's a specific type of, venom that does that. So Zedd asks her if she knows anyone with the knowledge of this kind of magic, because he's done everything he could do. He has exhausted all the other options. When she's like, oh, well, guess that means I'm dead, right? If it's past my arm, we can't cut off my arm, I'm gonna die. Cool. You should probably just go.
Super dramatically.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that's it for me.
I think it even says she flops back on the bed.
Yeah.
Under the blankets, okay.
Now, I'm sure she's really upset, but it seems a little cartoonish that she would do that, flop back with the arm draped over her eyes. Oh, cruel world. I guess I'm done now.
I'm gonna go see my pal.
Just go on without me. But Zedd, being Zedd, he's like, hey, quit fucking around and find somebody to help us. Which was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because one thing we know about Adie is she doesn't take anything for face value, and she knows people's intent. So when he says, find somebody to help us, that implies to her that Zedd is also in trouble.
Which, I mean, kudos to her, because she's right, and also I would never have picked up on it.
No.
I would have just assumed he meant he was, he's in it with me, we need help, friend, because you're real bad. But no, she picked up on that shit way quicker than I would have.
Well, I think, magic eyeballs could probably help with something like that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The fact that she can use her magic to see shit that you can't.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of seeing shit, Zedd immediately sees his mistake, and Adie forces him to tell her what he's keeping from her, and he decides to show her his arm, which has these nasty, gross, black, glowy, green underworld nastiness in it, in the same exact place that Adie has it on her arm.
Which, creepy.
Yeah, that's... yeah. That's not like Blood Brothers. That's a whole nother shit.
Yeah, I think when I originally read it, the green in their eyes kind of missed me, because it mentions a couple times that they have, a green glow in their eyes. And, I didn't notice that. I was just assuming, I think, that the green was, infection. But it's not. It's underworld glow. It's a glow.
It's like the infection on Heroin Bob's hand from SLC Punk. When he punches that mirror and just wraps it up and leaves it, and he takes the cover off his hand, and it's bright green. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, when you see it, it is shockingly green. It's got to be something like that. But like you said, it is from the underworld, so it's glowing green, which makes it even worse. It cannot be pretty.
Yeah, no, it's not good, but when Adie sees this, she doesn't really say anything at first, and Zedd just goes into this big explanation about how wizards heal people and all of the ins and outs of that bullshit. But basically, they take the pain of that person on so the magic can, like, focus on fixing what is wrong. That's what I got from it anyways. Like, they're taking the pain on so that that person can, like, not be dealing with the pain while the healing is happening.
Yeah, it's like an empathetic healing process.
Yeah.
They take it so they can work it. What he was saying is that so the magic knows what to focus on.
Yeah.
Like, this is the bad thing. Go into them and make it better.
Yeah, don't worry about numbing the pain, because I got that part. So in this case, the, taint of the grid itself transferred to him, not just the pain of it, and he was unable to heal it. Like, it was like the infection seeped into him.
Yeah, he accidentally cross-contaminated himself.
Yes. And Addie's immediate response is just cut off both her arms.
Well, I guess we're all going to be armless now.
Holy shit, is she into limb removal?
Is this something where they sit across from each other and they're like, okay, each of our right arms has to go. So I'm going to take my left arm and cut off your right arm while you take your left arm and cut off my right arm. Or do they separate and say, we'll be back in here in 20 minutes, armless. Let's just go be alone and get this done. And then we will return once it's over.
I feel like the classic, like, movie trope is that they're both staring at each other and they're like, okay, all right, I'll do you, and you do me. Okay, you first.
That's when one person loses an arm and then the next person goes, yeah, on second thought, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you know what? I think we actually have another solution.
That looks like it really hurts, and I'm not interested in that, so...
So
Sorry.
We're gonna be finding a different solution for me. But good on you. So obviously Zedd is not as into it. He would be the second person in that scenario. Like, no, actually no.
Yeah. He'd be the one with his arm off first. Because Addie's just itching to cut something off.
Oh, that's very true.
She is all about it.
Well, he tells her he's not going to have that happen. He tells her it's not going to help anyways because their bodies are filled with the taint.
Ah. Got you, babe.
Adie apologizes to Zedd for all of this bullshit happening, and he's like, dude, it's my fault for letting my heart guide me instead of my head, and, like, just rushing into shit without thinking.
Yeah, he just wanted to heal her and make her better. He wasn't thinking about the potential consequences of doing something like that, even though there shouldn't have been.
Right.
Like, I guess for a more simple wound, it's like, well, we're just going to go in and heal it. But he didn't take the time to think about how there could be magic involved.
But thinking back, she was totally right when she was like, hey, dude, let's just fucking go. Back when he healed her arm.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, bags, woman, let me just do my shit. And he should have just spent that time walking back to the house thinking about how he could have actually fixed her arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he's thinking about it right now, he thinks about how he violated the wizard's second rule as well, but he doesn't really elaborate on that, and we still don't have the actual, like, deets on that.
Again,
yeah.
We have no idea what it is. We can start to take some guesses.
Yeah.
Obviously, it has something to do with consequences.
And, like, good intentions.
Yeah, but literally, that's all we know.
But it makes sense that he doesn't, like, verbalize it right now, because if you're not a wizard, you're not supposed to know. So he can't, like, talk to Adie about it and be like, man, I fucked up.
So you know that rule number 2, as written down per right here, if you read that line for me, thank you. Now I would like to tell you all the ways that I have broken that rule. That conversation is not happening.
No. Zedd pleads with Adie to remember if she knows anybody that can help, because, like, we're up shit creek, bud. Most of the women that she met when she was doing her studies on the underworld are old and dead for sure, but one of them had 3 daughters. Unfortunately, they live in Nickel-Barisi. Nailed that. Yeah. Which is not on the way to Aidendrill. I had to check the map because I was a little bit confused about where they were. The last time we saw them, they had been running from Addie's house by the